What's going on, guys? I'm back with a brand new TV series review. All right. And I just watched a show called Peacemaker, starring John Cena, Jennifer Holland, and Danielle Brooks. First of all, let's go on a journey through the history of DC TV series. All right. Live action, of course. As far as I can go back, and even at this time and moment, when I was young, this show was already just reruns because this show came out in 1966. I'm talking about Batman. Okay. Yes, the show where when you punch someone, your punches are turned into expressions or words on the screen, like pow, bam, boom. Okay. Yes, it had a extreme cheese factor to it. It didn't age well. I know, but at the time when I was young, it was very entertaining. All right. Kudos to that. Kudos to that. Then as years went on, I'd say like early to mid 90s, Lois and Lane came out. All right. Now, with this, TV was trying to turn Lois Lane and Clark Kent into a serious, dramatic couple that everyone could get into, right? Despite the fact that we all know Clark Kent is really Superman. It had a good idea. Not one of the best shows in the world, but, better than others. And it had some memorable moments. Trust me. Okay. Then Smallville came out. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting because Smallville was one of the first DC shows to really blow up since the Batman era, of course. All right, and this is one of the shows that people actually watched this religiously. I know I did. And I'm not even a big fan of Superman. I don't even like Superman like that. But I watched this show every chance I got. It had a great theme song and everything. And I love shows with good theme songs on them too, because that gives a lot of promise. All right. Then things got a little goofy. Because then we had Arrow. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't remember one episode from this show. I don't even think I watched this show. I'm not sure. Don't care. Moving on. Because then The Flash came out. Now, honestly, this is a show I don't think I would have hated too much. But I know I didn't watch this show. I know for a fact I did not watch The Flash. Just didn't care. I think Arrow put a bad taste in me. All right, and this came out. I'm like, it's probably just like Arrow. All right, and then of course Gotham came out. Now I actually wanted to watch this. I wanted to watch this show. It looked interesting. It was the prequel to Batman's life. Batman before he was Batman, right? I watched a clip of this, a quick clip. This show is extremely corny. Very corny. So corny, I was repelled from this show immediately. And then a couple of other things came out that just pushed agendas or whatever the hell. And I just stopped caring about DC shows for a long while. But now we have Peacemaker. All right. And my question is Peacemaker the savior of DC TV? We're about to find out. Let's go. Peacemaker, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you don't know about this show by now, that means that you probably were locked up as long as Peacemaker was. Because all you had to do was scroll through your phone and the advertisements would pop up, whether you want to see it or not. You're gonna see something before you flip through that little situation. You're gonna see it. All right. So it's all over the place. There's no excuses for this. All right. Just do better. Okay. Peacemaker. It's pretty much coming off from the second Suicide Squad movie. All right, the good one. Okay, and some things take place because I don't know how many people have seen Suicide Squad, the second one, so I won't say too much, but we'll just say that a certain situation happened to Peacemaker that you have to find out for yourself. And now we have the TV show where he's, because of this situation, he's running from the law. He's running from the law. Amanda Waller's people, they're looking for him too. And he eventually gets caught by the Amanda Waller's people first. All right. There's a catch, of course. She wants to use him to help hunt down an alien race that is, threatening Earth, of course. It's a lot more interesting than what it sounds. I know it sounds cliche and basic, but it's a lot more interesting than that. And that's pretty much the premise of the show. Okay? Positives. Okay. I'm going to say this right now, man. The sense of humor on this show is perfect. It fits John Cena. As you know, John Cena turned from wrestler to actor and all that. John Cena does the best. He does the best in comedies. And so they decided to really dip this show into dark humor. A lot of dark humor in this. A lot of messed up humor in this. And I enjoyed every minute of this. What other perfect place to put this but on HBO Max? Okay, so hilarious. There are things in here that are said that you probably are not going to want to hear. All right, for the sensitive. For the sensitive, it's the things that you're not going to want to hear. You're probably going to get offended. I think that's what they were going for. All right, but other than that, it's a quirky thing where John Cena's character Peacemaker is just a dumb guy, and he plays with that. And his partner Vigilante is just a psychopath, and that dynamic alone is going to have you laughing. All right, trust me on that. Trust me on this. I swear. Another thing about this show. The CGI and special effects are completely grade A. All right. Usually when you have TV series like this, that's spawned from the movie, especially superhero movies. The TV show doesn't have the best quality. All right. They cut the budget back and they're not using a lot of money for the show. So you're not going to see the things you saw on the movie. All right. Marvel does a lot of that. I hate to talk bad about my Marvel, but that's what they do sometimes. But with this, DC has impressed me. It has impressed me because the creatures and the fights and the powers shown and all this, it shouldn't surprise me because I keep forgetting this is directed by James Gunn. The one who made the last Suicide Squad so good and worth watching. All big ups to James Gunn, man, because he made this possible. He made this possible. DC actually did something that Marvel does not do a lot. That's some points for DC. I give it to him. Everything was grade A. Everything was up to par as far as special effects in this show. Even the creatures, the spaceships, all that. Just good job. Grade A job, man. Another thing I have to mention about this show. The music picked for the background music, for the background of this show. It was perfect. It fit. It fit because I can tell that John Cena himself is a big 80s rock head. He's a big 80s rock fanatic. I can tell. So they made Peacemaker a big 80s rock fanatic. Every song that was played, it was like an 80s ballad that you might have heard of. Some I've never heard of at all. Some I think they just made up for the show. But if they did or not, I still enjoyed every minute of the music, man. There's a theme going on with DC right now. The last time it was, jazz. Now it's rock. Okay, so DC's doing pretty well with their score. Okay, for the shows, they're doing pretty well with that. All right, the music was just every song that I recognized. I was jamming out. I was jamming out, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. I listen to rock a lot. Uh, one last thing, one last positive for this show, and this touches on the fact that they actually thought to make a show about Peacemaker. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because okay, for those who've seen the movie Suicide Squad, Peacemaker is not one of the likable characters on the movie. Okay, funny, yes. Interesting, yes. You know, he just gets the movie going, whatever. But he's not well liked. He's not a likable person. His attitude is a little weird at times. Uh, so you wouldn't never think that you'd want to see a TV show about him. They actually worked that well with this. Okay, I was convinced. I was convinced because this show manages to make me feel sorry for Peacemaker. It actually made me feel sorry for Peacemaker. Okay, and I didn't think that was possible. With the things he did on Suicide Squad, you need just watch Suicide Squad. Please watch it because the things he did on that, you're going to really hate him on Suicide Squad. So going into this, I was like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna give me? Because we know what he's about. What's gonna happen? But what happened was glorious. Okay, because his character's been through so much, and it's really sad. I'm not gonna say a lot, but it's really sad when you come to think about it. And they actually made it possible for me to feel bad for Peacemaker. I'll just say that. Negatives. The antagonist in this movie, I mean, in this show, sorry. The special effects were so good, I thought it was a movie. The antagonist in this show, it seems, like there might be somewhat of a threat at first. But after watching this show all the way through for the first season, they really didn't they really didn't seem like a threat at all. When it came down to it, it was so simple. It was so simple. There are things about these creatures that are easily avoidable. Let's put it like that. Some things are so avoidable with these creatures. Honestly, I'll say this: these creatures are like bugs. They're bug-like creatures that fly into people's mouth to possess them, right? It would seem like the simplest thing to do. It's just to close your mouth. Okay, just close your mouth. Why didn't anyone close their mouth? I'm asking this. I'm seriously asking this. What was the logic? What was the logic behind that? I don't know. I can't figure it out. It makes no sense. And I scratched my head and cringed through a lot of that part right there. Just that part alone. But other than that, yeah, these creatures, while interesting creatures, nah, there were so many things that could have been done to just avoid these things. Okay. Another negative about this. There was a missed opportunity for such a crazy plot twist that they just kept jumping over and around and through. They kept jumping around it. Now, to other people, it might not seem like a big deal to other people about this plot twist that could have happened. And it might happen later down the line. It might happen. There's still room. There's still room for it to happen. But I wanted it to happen in this one. Matter of fact, this should have been one of the first things to happen. And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say what it is. Okay? Let's just say it has to do with the character that Danielle Brooks plays. All right? It has to do with her character. This should have happened almost immediately. Not immediately, but just, give it a little leeway. But it should have happened sooner. All right. I mean, because it didn't happen like that, that was a little disappointing. Watch the show to find out what I'm talking about. My last negative about this. Something started to happen to Peacemaker towards the end of this series, to where he started to see an imaginary person in his head. Not going to say anything about that. But this person no longer exists. So it's imaginary. I didn't care for that. I did not care about this character like that. So them doing this is needless. I think it was just a way to keep this character in the show. Plain and simple. And I don't like that. They could have been a little more creative with that. In my opinion. They could have been a little more creative with that decision. Or done something else, or made him see somebody else besides this person. I don't care about this person anymore. You did what you did with that person. Be gone with that. Okay? Be done with it. But still, with all that said, I got to give this a hell yes. Okay? Yes, this is a hell yes. This show is so good, man. It's really good. No lie, this is a really good show. I enjoyed every minute of this. You have to watch this. Please watch it. All right? Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't.